Welcome to Rainbow Guy DIY.
Hi everyone, Chris here with Rainbow Guys DIY. Today I have my kids with me and we are going to build a rabbit hutch.
Yay! What?
So I just searched Google for free rabbit hutch plans. I did find one that I like, so that's what I'll be following today. I will leave a link below if you want to go get the same plans, but there are lots of plans out there. So we have two bunnies in our house, and they have been living in the house in a cage that they are quickly outgrowing. So we're going to build them a hutch so they can start living in the backyard. That way they can eat the dandelions, eat the grass, and get some fresh air and some exercise.
And if it's ever too hot outside, we will bring them back in.
That is right. If it ever gets too hot, we will bring them back in.
Or too cold.
Or too cold in the winter, yes. All right, we have all of our materials, so we're gonna move the camera outside and get started cutting everything.
Yay! See ya.
So we're gonna start marking all of our boards.
We're gonna be marking the boards.
And here I'm just marking all of the boards and cutting them to length according to the cut list diagram that is in the instructions of the plans. I used a speed square to get the right angles. Most of them were a 90-degree angle, but there were a few that were 10 degrees to allow for the pitch of the roof, which was a little bit challenging with just a speed square and a circular saw. Definitely would have been easier with a miter saw, but I don't have one, so I just used what I had available to me. In the end, it worked out well enough. This again is just going in my backyard, so it didn't need to be some perfect cabinet or anything like that. Admittedly, cutting the boards all to length definitely was the bulk of this project. It took a lot longer than I thought it would, especially having two little helpers with me. All right, got all my 2x cut, and now I need to cut the plywood. Come here, do you want to be in this part?
Yeah.
All right, we got rained out the other day, but now we have all of our wood cut. I need to cut out the archway for the bunnies to get into the enclosed part, and a few notches, and then we will start drilling all of the pocket holes. This is my first time drilling pocket holes, so it will be an experiment and we'll see how well I do. Let's get to it. So here I started assembling the sides of the hutch and got pretty far until we got rained out again. So we came back a couple days later and tried to pick up where we left off. This project ended up taking quite a bit of time. Here you can see my little one is helping me. I actually got her to drill some of the pocket holes. She did a pretty good job. All right, you want to come drill this one?
Sure.
Do you remember how?
Yeah. Easy. I got it, Dad. I can do it myself.
There you go. Push all the way in. Now pull it out. Pull it out. No, keep going. There you go. Next one. So together we just kept drilling more and more and more pocket holes. There were quite a few. I don't remember exactly how many pocket holes, but I do know that we went through more than one pack of pocket hole screws. So that is something to be prepared for. If you get the little pack, which I think is 50 screws, you will need more than one. And then we just move on to assembling all of the pieces. We wanted to assemble everything fully so then we can then paint it and make sure that all of the exposed wood gets covered with exterior grade paint so that it will last outside. And in addition to the exterior pocket hole screws, I also used some Titebond 3 wood glue, which is weatherproof, water resistant, so that it will last outdoors. All right, everything is cut out and assembled to the point where now it's time to paint. So the girls are going to help me paint.
Yeah! Yeah!
Alright, now that we have all of our exterior panels assembled and painted, I'm going to attach the hardware cloth, which is going to enclose the bottom half of the hutch, and then the solid panels on the top half of the hutch to give the bunnies somewhere to hide, because that's what they like to do. So I'm just gonna get this stuff all measured out and cut. Definitely recommend wearing gloves when handling the hardware cloth so you don't cut your hands up. And then I'll be attaching with a staple gun and exterior screws for the panels. So now it's finally time to start assembling the hutch. One thing I did find while assembling it is the solid panels at the top of the hutch should be aligned to the top of the rails. It didn't specify that in the instructions, but I found I did have to remove them and reposition them up slightly higher so that some of the other pieces could fit in properly. Now, I did not follow the instructions exactly. I put some of the panels on backwards, I believe, which ended up having the cross brace not be in the correct position to attach the inner wall to. I made do and added some screw blocks to it rather than taking the whole thing apart and reassembling it. So just watch your instructions. The instructions I followed did have a complete materials list at the beginning, but it actually turned out they forgot to mention the need for hinges. They are mentioned during the instructions, they're just not upfront in the materials list, so that is one thing to note. Make sure you get the proper hinges. There are 2 doors on the front of the hutch, one on the bottom half and one on the upper half, and then you also need hinges for the roof lid so that you can get access to the bunnies while they're in there. Another thing you'll want to remember to get is some roofing for this. That way the bunnies don't get rained on. I just used some old corrugated metal I had on hand. And here you can see the bunnies loving their new habitat. They've been out there for several weeks now and seem to really be enjoying it.
eat a lot.
Huh?
They eat a lot.
They do eat a lot.
But they're still skinny and light. Did we name that?
We named Anakin. Vader came with his name.
Ah.
We thought Anakin was going to be a girl, so her name was going to be Padme, which is who Anakin married. So Vader is Luke and Leia's dad, and Padme is Luke and Leia's mom.
Oh, I never seen her. See you later, alligator.
If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Also be sure to subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our new videos. You can also follow us on social media at rainbowguysdiy for even more content. See you next time.